This review of Sonic CD may contain spoilers and coarse language. If neither of those bother you, then have fun watching and enjoying this review. Sonic CD? That's a tough nut for me to crack. Let me put it like this. Sonic CD is flawed, for sure, and I can give you plenty of arguments, reasons, and evidence to show that. However, it is still a pretty good game in the overall run. Not the best classic Sonic game, oh god no, but it is still a pretty good game, though polarizing. So, what makes this game tick and what makes it so unique that makes people say it's not the best? Well, let me tell you why. We'll start with the story first. Sonic DVD has a traditional Sonic story, but I can go a little bit more in depth with it. So Sonic's running to a place called Never Ever for something whatever lake, and he wants to see Little Planet, a small planet that appears over the lake every once in a while. When Sonic gets there, he finds out Eggman conquered it. Who was surprised? While you're there, you meet Sonic's biggest fan, Amy Rose, and his metallic arch-rival, Metal Sonic. And that's it. It's just Sonic. Stop Eggman. Done. Now, on the original Sega CD, this isn't really much to write off about, but in every single release ever since the Sega CD version, these cutscenes in the game are phenomenal. There is some brilliant animation going on in here, and I absolutely enjoy watching these every time I look at this game. Fun fact about these were animated by another company that has a character that goes super with yellow hair. Certainly makes me wish we had a Sonic anime. Oh yeah, we had 2 of them. Well, at least one of them was good. Sonic plays just like he does in any other Sonic game. Sonic has to collect rings to survive. As long as he has one, he's totally fine, but he loses them all when he gets hit. Sonic can spin jump, which makes him immune to enemies damaging him on the side. He can also roll into a ball when he's running fast enough, with the same benefits as jumping, and a slightly higher acceleration when he goes down hills. But when he jumps out of a roll, you can't control his Wait, you can in this game? Huh. Okay, cool. Sonic also gains 2 moves in this. The first is the Super Peel Out. When pressing up and standing still on the ground, Sonic revs up and is ready to run. On release, he speeds out in the process. I don't use this move that much, but it's a pretty good move if you need a lot of speed. The Spin Dash is the second move. This is the same as the Super Peel Out, but Sonic rolls. I'd find myself using this a lot more to get simple speed. However, make sure that you use the Sonic 2 variant. I'll get into that later. Sonic also has 3 power-ups, a shield so he can take an extra hit, speed shoes to increase his speed 10-fold, and invincibility to make it so that nothing but bottomless pits, drowning, and squishing can kill him. So here's the deal in every stage. You can play it like a normal Sonic game, run to the right, and get to the goal as fast as possible, and with 50 rings, do the special stage. Or, you can use the new gimmick, time travel. In Sonic Betamax, Sonic can find signposts that let him warp back and forth to the past and future. Setting these up can be quite a pain, as the level design is only kind of designed for it. Let's just say there's a few moments where the developers said, fuck it, we give up, and they just have 2 springs facing each other. Yeah, you have to run and make sure that you actually make it to the past. Anyway, in the past, you have to destroy a robot generator which allows Sonic to make a good future. And you also have to find the Metal Sonic hologram if you want to have animals jump around. Not required for a good future, but it's something. Now, as mentioned, there are 2 futures in this game. The first is the bad future where Eggman actually succeeds and everything sucks. Or it's the good future where you actually succeeded and foiled Eggman's plan. There's not really much of a reason to go to either of these futures. It's mainly the past and the present where the bulk of this game is. I don't see that many people trying to jump to the good future while they're still in the game. They need to go to the end of the stage. It's Sonic. You go fast! Because of how this game works, not focusing on trying to find the best time to get to the goal, but instead trying to find the robot generators, there's a lot larger exploration focus in this game, which is how the level design in this game becomes a little bit more exotic. Sonic Laserdisc is the only Sonic game in the series that actually has level design like this, and for good reason. It really kind of sucks. What CD does is it tries to make the levels exploration friendly, so you can go find the robot generators and Metal Sonic holograms. Well, in theory, that's what they do. Oh my god, does it not work in execution? Holy shit. Remember how I was talking about those dumb springs that just make it easier to warp back? Well, it's nice that there's some places that have that, considering in other places it's just straight up fucking impossible to warp back. Wacky Workbench in particular is atrocious to try and go back to the past in. But then again, the level design there is also pretty whack too. There's a lot of leaps of faith that you have to make, but don't worry, if you missed, you at least jump back up. Thanks. Stardust Speedway and Untitled Tempest also are kinda whack when it comes to level design. Metallic Madness too, that is a really hard one to try to go back to the past in. But the worst offender here is when you warp. When you warp in CD, there's sadly a chance that you'll end up somewhere you don't want to go. While in most cases it's not that bad and you're given some after invincibility after warping to compensate, other times you have some straight up cheap deaths, which are bullshit. The warping in this can be so screwy. The thing with warping is you have to run just long enough in order for you to go back to the past or go to the future. When you get to a point when the past or future icon's blinking, you'll have the chance to go back. However, if you fuck up during that time, you lose it. Now the thing is, this game isn't really about just Sonic running and making sure that he actually goes to the past. You can't really do that on your first try. No, it's about setting it up and making it so it's all particular so that this time you'll actually make it to the past and have a guarantee. However, what makes it possible for someone to ignore all this bullshit is that you can do that. You don't have to go to the past and get the generator to beat the stage. In fact, you can just ignore it all and just get the bad ending. Or you can still get the good ending by playing it like a regular Sonic game and doing the special stages. That is where I see Sonic CDs shine the most, is when you play it like a regular Sonic game. You don't need to worry about the past, future, any of that crap. You just need to get to the end and go to the special stage if you want the good ending. I will give credit to Sonic Team for trying something different, but different doesn't mean good. Like many Sonic games, this also features Dr. Eggman's crazy mechas. That lead to some pretty unique and different boss fights in CD. However, different actually means good in this case, but they are easy. Quartz Quadrant in particular is an awesome boss, because all you have to do is run, and as you do that, you're grinding against the podium Eggman's standing on. Wacky Workbench and Stardust Speedway's bosses are pretty good too, with Wacky having a fun platforming-orientated one to catch Eggman, and Stardust Metal Sonic Race being a little awkward at first, but still pretty fun to race against. No really, how come this little shit isn't affected by slopes? Though like I said, they are easy. The only one that really gave me difficulty was Chaos Collisions, and I mean look at this shit on screen. Can you blame me? I will certainly say that while easy, they are still pretty fun and unique, and I do like to fight a lot of them. But another thing I really like about this game are its special stages. Now, if there's one thing Sonic Compact Disc certainly has, it's awesome special stages. Sonic CD's special stages are my favorite in the franchise, simply because it's what Sonic does best, running and jumping. Sonic has to destroy several UFOs in the field before a timer runs out. The UFOs give Sonic rings and speed shoes when destroyed. When you only have 20 seconds left, a third UFO variant comes by that lets you get 30 more seconds to stay in the special stage. Admittedly, it's also very easy to grind that thing, but be careful of the water. Water saps up Sonic's time, so stay out of it. However, these special stages are gorgeous and run well. At least in this version of Sonic CD that I'm playing. Let me talk about those. Sonic Digital Download Deluxe Edition comes in many shapes and sizes. What you've seen in this video for the majority of the time is the 2011 re-release done by Christian Whitehead, aka Taxman, aka the guy behind Sonic Mania. Anyway, the original game on the Sega CD is alright, kinda, sort of, not really. It's... ugh. After playing the 2011 re-release, you start to realize that this game's a lot rougher and slower around the edges, and the special stages in particular were hit the hardest. The sprite scaling is just so weird. The original Spin Dash in Sonic CD is also mega barf. It's just the same as the Super Peel Out, but you're rolling. The Sonic 2 Spin Dash is a much better alternative, and honestly I would prefer playing the game with that as opposed to anything else. Well, I will say that it is a lot easier to change music in this game. Man, I really hope Funimation doesn't copyright strike me. Look, my point is get the re-release if you ever want to play this, especially for all the goodies in it. Sonic Disc 1 of 2 features a lot of extra content in it. The best part of the re-release is being able to play as Tails. Once you beat the game, you unlock Sonic's best friend. He's much the same as Sonic, but without the super peel out, and he can fly instead. He's much better for exploring than Sonic is, so if you ever want to risk going after those stupid robot generators, I'd suggest you pick Tails. The second being the time attack mode. This is the first Sonic game to have any time attack features in it. At least the original in 1993 was. How cool! In this mode, you can play the present or bad futures of stages to make it to the end and make a new record. If your overall time is down to a certain point, you will unlock some nice stuff, like the DA Garden where you can play the music to the game, or the stage select, or my personal favorite, the pencil test. I love seeing the Sonic CD intro, it's so pretty. Thank you, Toei. Oh yeah, this game has some pretty good graphics in it. The art style for this game is super colorful. I can definitely say that this and Knuckles Calyx are the prettiest 2D Sonic games out there. Mania isn't out yet, you shut the fuck up. The graphical styles and consistencies needed not for one, not two, but 4 different areas is astounding, and the attention to detail is well known in this game. Though in some ways, the problem with regarding the fucking bullshit deaths, the art and level design aren't exactly the same, which can be problematic and yada yada. I already spoke about this, blah blah blah. The game in the 2011 variant runs very smoothly, yada yada, it's not about that, blah blah blah. I've had no problems running this game otherwise. However, I do think it's weird that this re-release only has 2 options in its video options, resolution and a windowed checkmark. Thanks, Taxman. Though in-game, there actually are slightly more options, like the ability to choose a filter. Pick nostalgia unless you're stupid. Now, one of the other things that a lot of people like to grab each other's dicks and suck each other off to is about the music in this game. With the music of this game, let me tell you that this is where shit hits the fan. You see, with this game, there's 2 soundtracks, a USA and a Japanese variant. Let me just say this and just get it over with. The Japanese soundtrack is superior. This is because the melodies are much more memorable, lively, and in general, more advanced compositions, and none of them have any of the dull tones or quaint sounds that the US soundtrack does. Yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow for all you Japan-hating losers, but hey, I was 14 at some point too. But I do think some of the songs in the US soundtrack stand out. Title Tempest, Stardust Speedway, and especially Wacky Workbench are great songs on the US side. While these songs are definitely way different from their Japanese counterparts, there's still some pretty good stuff. One in particular that I think I'm a little bit alone on is Stardust Speedway's Good Future, which is so awesome. With Japan, I like to listen to at least every song in the soundtrack. It's just so in-your-face and campy. Very enjoyable to listen to. And I find myself listening to it more than the US soundtrack. When it comes to straight up bad songs, there's only one, Metallic Madness US. This song is just so drab, boring, uninteresting, it's just terrible. It's a terrible finale song. Someone woke me up. Ugh. The 2 theme songs in this game are also up for debate. You Can Do Anything and Sonic Boom are considerably some of the best songs in the Sonic franchise.
Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, keeps you running faster. Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, save the planet from disaster.
I can tell you for sure that I like Sonic Boom the most. Which is weird, you'd think the US track wouldn't be as good. But the in-your-face attitude of You Can Do Anything and the ending theme, Cosmic Eternity, are still very good. However, it's sad that due to copyright, you won't be hearing the lyrics of either of the Japanese songs in the HD re-release. What a great way to immortalize this deceased singer by getting rid of the voice. Well, you Japanese are Shinto, I'm sure she'll come back and remind you. Sound effect wise with this game, there's something wrong with it. For some strange reason, and especially in the 2011 re-release, Sonic has more compressed sounding sounds. Well, you still get some fun voice clips of Sonic shouting. The sound effects are still kind of muffled. I will say that one sound effect I really like is the past and future totems. They actually say past and future if you listen close enough, which I think is cool. Also, Sonic's jump sound is stupid. Not the same! So now we come to my favorite part, the changes. What could I possibly change? This game is so... I don't like the time travel. So, I'd get rid of it! Alright, now slow down, I still have to explain myself here. So option 1 would be, what if there was no time travel at all? Well, first let me just say this, it would just be the same. The only difference that would happen is that now the robot generators and the Metal Sonic hologram would just be in the present. So all you have to do is just go get those while you're in the stage. No time travel, no nonsense, just boom, get it, done. The last act where you have the boss fight could still take place in the future, and then only there would the palette need to change to be a bad or a good future. Now the second option is, what if there still was time travel? Well, for starters, I'd still probably get rid of the future elements. I mean, there's no point to go to them anyway. But what about the warping? Well, let's think about it like this. How about instead of just placing it in the middle of anywhere and Sonic needs to build up speed in order for him to warp, how about instead he just does a super peel out in front of the sign and then he can go to it? That would get rid of a lot of bullshit deaths if you warped, and it would also make it so you don't have to figure out all those patterns and that's the safe spot, now I can time travel. It's just simple. However, I would still say that the best thing to do is to make it so that you don't time travel at all. Now with both of those proposed fixes, I would also give more hints on where everything is. As it stands in game, there's no way to figure out where anything is aside from a single hint of a broken robot generator in the present, while the hologram doesn't have anything. I'd make some pipes in the background that siphon power to the generator, and the flow of the electricity current could show the player where the generator is with subtle hints. Same with the hologram, like having some wires on the ground leading to it. This would be substantial for being able to figure out where everything is, as it gives the player more confident direction. However, with the 2011 re-release, there's only one thing I'd like to change. In the 2011 re-release, you can change all the soundtracks to be whatever you want, so you can have Japan or US. Now, I would propose a more advanced sort of way to switch for them. For example, setting Palm Tree Panic's present music to the US, but setting the Bad Future to the Japan. In fact, that was something I was kind of hoping that this remake had when it came out, but it didn't. That's okay, though. Oh, also those compressed sound effects. No. So overall, Sonic CD Blast Flicky's Island is not that bad of a game. When I ignore its main gimmick, I have a lot more fun than I anticipated, and I do love the special stages in this game. When I was doing its main gimmick, I was getting headaches looking for good areas to run and getting annoyed when I would lose a warp because of some annoying, stupid thing, and then being annoyed that I couldn't find the hologram or finding the generator at all because I had no idea where it was. From that aspect, I can understand why someone would feel polarized or dissatisfied with Sonic HD DVD. Again, I had a lot of fun when I was playing without its main gimmick, as both Sonic and Tails. Getting those time stones in the special stages, along with just completing the stages quickly, was really invigorating. Doing it the main gimmick way? Well, it's certainly a little bit faster, but it's not going to be nearly as fun. So yes, I would still recommend this game. However, just be cautious of its main gimmick, and I would highly recommend that you play it like a traditional Sonic game instead of its new fancy way, because its new fancy way doesn't work as well as it says it should. I can't believe that I have used Slayer's music. I really hope Funimation will get off my dick.